Zoning, a gameplay element of intragame conditioning, is, simply put, the element in which space is claimed or reclassified. From chess to StarCraft to Smash Brothers, zoning is a skill that is truly fundamental in mastering any competitive game. The primary and most observable application of zoning at work is that optimal zoning reclassifies an otherwise neutral space into its favor or to a different state. It is possible to create uninhabitable space by throwing an active fireball, for example, in Street Fighter. As for so long as it is active, the average character cannot dash through the fireball. If they do, they will be hit by the fireball and temporarily be locked out from playing the game. This can include making your space absolute or basically uninteractable. This is similar to the former, but the difference is that inhabiting the former space is to move from Zone A to Zone B and then be returned to Zone A against your volition. With absolute space, Zone B cannot be entered within the legal rules of the game. An example of this is to block in chess. Zoning is not restricted to area denial. It can be simply increasing the risk or reward of entering an area in either player's favor. An example of this is creep spread for Zerg in StarCraft. When encounters occur on the creep spread, otherwise even situations become advantaged for the player controlling the creep, and it is possible to outplay and achieve victory in these areas where it was in question before. Within Smash Brothers in particular, zoning is commonly associated with, projectiles such as turnips, lasers, missiles, etc., etc. In truth, zoning is actually a core tenet of Smash Brothers' frequently misunderstood attack, grab, and shield rock, paper, scissors concept. To be clear, the reason that this concept of attack, grab, and shield isn't wholly correct varies by game, but as a rule of thumb, it isn't attacks themselves that defeat grab, but zoning. This includes putting a hitbox between you and your opponent so that they cannot both grab and travel through that area in order to be in range to get that grab. But it's not restricted to such. Vertical zoning is a common tool in both instances that often places the zoner in a space that is disadvantageous to them in some respects, but prevents the average character from grabbing them. Examples of this include jumping in every Smash game or crouching as certain characters when available. Please note that these are disadvantaged in their inability to shield or move horizontally, respectively, and as such still maintain the rock, paper, scissors dynamic. I mentioned this with the chess example, but it's worth noting again for fighting games. Defensive options are zoning tools. Although blocking covers a small space, the rules within that space are classified as something other than they were, with that being a situation that's classified differently, varying by game. This includes block strings, such as in Smash 64, shield grabs in Brawl and Smash 4, frame trap, shield pressure, and melee, etc., etc. Spot dodge is similar to crouching, and the purpose of rolls varies from game to game, but I want to go ahead and take a moment to talk about Smash 4's rolls in particular. Smash 4's rolls are rather notorious for this. However, once I got through my own bias as to what rolls should be, as defined by many other fighting games, I've come to understand that rolls are a powerful, universal tool that is part of the cause for the relative balance that Smash 4 enjoys. In previous Smash titles, creating a hitbox or bubble between the zoner and the opponent typically prevents direct horizontal movement toward the zoner, and often they have enough time, even if they're wrong in some way, to correct their decisions, such as, for example, if a character puts out a jab and the opponent jumps over it, they often have enough time to correct the jab into an anti-air, and they can still win that situation with that position. In Smash 4, every character who isn't Samus enjoys the ability to counter this strategy with a roll through that then places them in a favorable position, if not guaranteeing a punish with frame advantage. An example of the former is going to be, I'll go ahead and say, if you land with a nair, if someone is rolling, you can still turn around and forward tilt them. Whereas in Smash 4, if you land with a nair when they roll, it's just as possible that they'll be able to grab you before your jab can come out, and because it's a grab, it's going to beat out shields and probably frame trap spot dodge. Shifting one's space control over the area for a roll often, if not always, leaves one open for another approach option, which still allows the rock, paper, scissors game to continue and allows characters who would otherwise lack the tools to pass through the areas covered by hit bubbles to do so. This is why characters such as Luigi often are very inadequate at approaching in every other Smash game except for Smash 4, and this is because Luigi can roll in Smash 4. He can roll into you, and when you're covering that roll, he can just run straight through and dash grab you, which he gets great reward from in every game. So it's in this instance that we actually see game depth improved for certain characters by allowing the rolls. Now, many players have difficulty dealing with these rolls, and they get frustrated and believe that the game is shallow as a result. And while I won't say that Smash 4 is the deepest game in the series, especially when compared with games such as Melee and Brawl, which are just incredibly dynamic, the game definitely has a certain amount of depth that players haven't entirely explored yet. I hope everybody enjoyed this video. I hope to see you guys later. My name is Tony, and